watching him. I
Keep
didn't know
the eye
that.
stuff out of this. But yeah, that's the only time I've heard it fail. My mom, my sister, they all have it, and it went well. So
Yeah, I know
get
people
your
that
LASIK.
say it's like a game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
And
the
I mean, it's
touch-ups.
something they're getting so good at. It's such a routine thing for them to do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my eyes are getting progressively worse. But anyway, what are we doing here, fellas?
Yeah, we're talking. Usually we invite you to the green room, but I feel like you got to invite us being in the music company here.
Yeah, well,
rolling the business.
Good to have you guys. Good to be on here with you.
Yeah, man, this
cool.
is really cool, and I'm stoked on everything you got going on here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the music company and how you got started and kind of what you got going on?
Thank you. Yeah, so we started up 2 years ago. We're a nonprofit studio. We have a number of programs, but our main one is just having affordable access to studio space and resources for local musicians. And so we have 4 working studios here. We've got a big traditional kind of 2-room thing where bands can come in and play, and we shoot a lot of content in.
If you listen closely, you can hear them.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Live takes.
Got a little band jam going on in there. We have another that's more of a kind of a vocal room. We've got a producer room that we put a booth in as well because a lot of people wanted to use it that way. And then we have this, which on the other side of the camera series is all our DJ stuff. People come in, play around on CDJs in here, and we're starting to do a little bit more of this kind of content.
Yeah, we see
stuff here.
all walks of life in here so far. DJs, full bands, rappers. So
it's so cool. Yeah,
No,
we get
Some
quite a
guys
variety.
selling gear.
yeah,
Chuck, local Chuck.
local Chuck.
How dare we not introduce Jamie? He's on this
Oh,
side
yeah,
of the
and
camera
young
this
Jamie.
time.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah,
It feels weird.
hopefully he
You're
doesn't.
not using
Hopefully he doesn't
And,
talk too much.
I
His
will
trial
say-
period is over.
I will say, go Sirs.
Nah.
Yeah, the local Pacers, right?
Yeah, local Pacers. Stop by, show the girls some love.
So
Industry night.
Yeah, every Monday.
Beautiful.
Just do it.
yeah, so I think what Jack was saying, you guys got a sweet little balance of just about everything in here.
Yeah, we sure do,
rappers,
yeah.
DJs, bands, doing live shows pretty much in there. And what's the beach break sessions that you guys were talking about?
That's right. Yeah. So that's our live in studio series. So kind of like if you think of, I like to use Audio Tree as my reference. I think we're probably closer to them than anything out there. Or like there's like a version is kind of similar, but I think the one everyone knows is Tiny Desk. We're a little different than that aesthetically, but the same genre, same sort of thing.
Yep.
So we've been doing that since we've been open. We have close to 50 of those out now, I think. And quite a few. And so we've been really hard at work putting those on, and we'll just invite bands down here, have them play through like it's a show. And of course, they want to do a few takes. They can do a few takes, but we really keep those takes intact and very much stay true to the live format of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're big like conversion fans. It's like half of what we play when we're sitting on the couch.
How cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're sweet.
Yeah, no, us too. So that's our take on that sort of thing, and really just trying to put on as much local San Diego music as we can through doing that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're probably the best location of a studio in probably the world, being, 50 paces to
It's
the
unreal.
sand?
Yeah,
Oh, you're not talking about the gym?
Oh, yeah. And Shock,
I thought you were talking about the view of the gym.
and Shock Fitness. A pump, a drink,
I thought you were
and
going in a
beach.
totally different direction.
Well, that too.
Yeah, the beach is cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like 50 paces to Mission Beach PB border.
Oh yeah. No, like I'll go look through in our producer room there. You can see the water, but it's real narrow view because there's the hotel and there's stuff built up and all that. So I get this little sliver of a view, and my thing is like, if I see a couple heads in the water just through that little sliver, it's probably pretty good out, and I should go.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we
dude.
saw the wetsuits hanging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's like a
used it to
studio
its
where
full
you can
potential
come.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just chill and then go surf.
Where can you
yeah.
surf and record in the same 5 minutes?
So,
It's
are
awesome.
you from San Diego originally, or how did you get started here?
Not really. I mean, I kind of grew up here. My family moved out here from Detroit when I was 12.
Oh wow.
So, been here a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And have you always been musically inclined, or just
Yes, but not professionally.
okay?
Yeah, I'd always been, around other musicians, and I've played guitar my whole life, and I've been just, producing and making beats and all of that kind of stuff. And at the same time being a huge nerd for gear and trying to tinker with whatever analog stuff I can get my hands on, and I'm all into that. But I hadn't been doing it professionally before this, and I got the chance to be involved in this place from the very beginning when we were, just a little startup trying to see, can this thing work and exist? And I feel like we're still kind of there, but we've grown a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's super official for how casual you make it sound. I mean, it's definitely
I appreciate it.
no
And that's
schmuck show.
and that's something I've been trying to work on. I think, we started out like just maximum, like super casual everything, because I don't know, we didn't know any different really. We just kind of knew like, okay, let's put together what we need and come on in and let's do this and record music.
It could turn into an endless party pretty fast.
It really can. And and I'm proud of the ways that we look like a legit business now too, and really trying to build that up. It's cool to see.
Yeah. Because the studio, well, how did you guys come up on this space?
On this space.
Yeah.
So, we saw the business come up for sale, and that's really what it was. That's kind of what prompted us even looking into it. But this place was built out 15 years ago. Some guys with presumably a lot of money came in here and built out this insane studio. They called it Lost Ark. You can still find all the pictures and all that online. They still have their website up, which is cool. But it was just nutty. They had a whole room just full of different drum shells. They had a whole room full of amps and like 2 different rooms full of guitars. Like it was like Guitar Center in here, but like on crack. And it was just nuts what they must have spent for it. Anyway, they eventually, the well runs dry. They sell everything off. And somebody had this space for a couple of years in between them and us. Do you know this story already?
Just briefly, but
briefly. Yeah.
Piecing it all together now.
Yeah, and we took a while piecing it together too, and just learning all these little details of, that was going on here too. But yeah, I mean, he basically did a lot of different things and a lot of things that maybe aren't what a recording studio typically does. There were quite a few parties here, and I think like I don't know, they did some kind of like poker nights and this and that, and
Dirty Mike and the boys came in.
Yeah, it was a whole. There was a lot of. I mean, a lot of parties thrown here. A lot of that kind of vibe. It was like an event space, though. Really,
Those
it was
poker
a lot
tournaments
more kind of.
Made it all the way around the promenade.
Yeah.
A couple riverboat
Even the
gambling
boys
trips.
over at El Prez were hearing about the old
Really?
poker games.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've heard so many like stories that I've been.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, young Jamie over there is
together.
pretty tapped in on this promenade. He's been there for 2 name changes at El Perez.
Oh wow.
3, 2,
Wait, what
3?
was it before? 'Cause
It was
now-
the wood.
The
It was
wood.
the wood, and then it
With
turned
reds in the
into-
bottom.
Or well, I guess when I first started working there, it was actually beechwood for like a month,
Okay.
and then it was the wood
Trial period.
Okay.
for like probably a year or so or 2 years, and then it changed to El Press.
But there was Reds in the bottom, which was a country bar that was now where Boom Boom is, which was like a pretty sick country bar. I don't know how
Okay.
long
before
Reds is around.
before Moonshine. So once Moonshine like
Yeah.
opened, it pretty much cut Reds out of all country scene. And
That's
so,
interesting.
yeah.
Wait, so
But it used to be packed there like every night.
Oh, yeah.
Reds was
Is
insane.
Moonshine the same owner?
No.
No, but it just squeezed him out.
Oh yeah.
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 You can't have
they
2 country
opened.
bars. And
Oh yeah, they
PB.
opened.
I don't
in-
know if there's that much demand. Like I always even
No,
tell
there's
people,
not.
Yeah.
like my friends come from out of town and ask like, Moonshine, what's that? And what I always like, the way I always describe it is like, this is a country bar for people that don't really want a country bar.
Yeah.
yeah, because at like 12 o'clock
It's
it
the
turns into
aesthetic
like
of a country bar
Yeah.
with the music of PB.
100%. Especially after like what 10 or
Yeah.
11.
Uh-huh.
Like they just have like DJs.
They have a great green room.
Yeah.
They
They
do
do.
have a
Do
great
they?
room.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's sick.
Dude, they have
I
so
threw up
much.
in it.
It feels
Yeah.
it
On
feels
like a
so
Monday.
It's yours
official.
now.
Yeah.
Like you get in there and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of like
and
a
then you go out there, there's like 10 people. You're like, I still.
it was like a Monday show. I puked, called out of work the next day because you guys were playing. I think there was 7 of us in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was good.
Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
they had a good thing. Well, I mean, they have a great thing going with country music and stuff like that. But they have such a good room that how many bands have tried to, or non-country bands have tried to book shows there, and they kept giving us like a little try, like a Thursday night or a Wednesday night or something like that. And we'd bring people out and we'd try to get something set up there, and they would always just divert back to that's a country bar.
it's
And
so
we got a good
hard.
thing going,
and,
so-
and
so
they're
hard to
like
fill that
weekends they're like national acts only. Like, what are you talking
yeah,
about?
national acts coming to PB.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just
I
a cover
don't-
band playing
You're
the same
Moonshine
songs
Beach.
as
Sorry,
every other
Moonshine
band.
Beach and PB. Like, bro, that's
Bleep it
crazy.
out.
Yeah.
Who are you
that's-
getting over there? That is like I mean, local bands can like pack that place out if you on a right day.
Yeah.
Like on a fucking Wednesday or Thursday. Like, bro, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
happening.
hard. Yeah, it's
It's
hard
not
to
fucking
do.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And people have work. Like,
They just need the 710 motto and just move
Yeah.
it over to Moonshine, bigger space.
yeah.
I'm always surprised by that because, they used to do so much more with bands. And I feel like if they were to be like the country bar aesthetic, but have more of an actual rock sound to the music, like
Yeah.
that can still fit the aesthetic, but
Yeah.
probably be a little more
They
approachable.
go hand
to
in
this
hand.
crowd out
Yeah,
here.
rock,
Rock and
country.
roll and country. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
Leonard Skinner,
That's
baby.
what I'm-
That's what I was gonna
Like,
say.
bro.
It's literally Leonard Skinner.
It's Leonard Skinner.
So you got the country
And that
aesthetic,
shit's
and you just have
sick.
bands come rock
Yeah, it's a
out. That would be, but
American flag tank tops and
if we're
just
really
a little bit
cynical-
different riff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably a Les Paul on stage. Like, big deal.
But if we're really cynical, a DJ is only one guy to pay, right? I always
Yeah.
wonder
Right.
if it's
Yeah.
kind of like that.
No, that's so right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only way to stay profitable. It's just put DJs on.
Yeah, yeah. Which,
Bad ones.
It's unfortunate. I mean,
no
I
one
was
knows the difference.
Yeah.
It's like it's playing,
Yeah.
playing other people's shit. It's,
Yeah,
Bad
yeah.
ones.
Shitty up and coming DJ. As soon as he starts getting a little bit of like pull, boom, cut him. New one every time.
I just put 2 and 2 together. I think those poker nights you're
back.
talking about, I think it was probably Chuck. I think it had to be Chuck, and he was buying all the gear, and
Yeah,
now he's
so-
coming back and peddling it to you
Right.
cheap.
Yeah.
I think it's all
Those
coming back. I
wings.
think we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pedal and gear.
Right on Chuck.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite beach break session you've done here?
Oh, that's a really good question. We've had so many good ones. I think one of the most interesting ones to me was probably Tristan Brooks, and we had him come down, and he plays by himself. He plays with a few bands around town, but he had this total like Radiohead or Muse or something kind of vibe of this
cool.
like, kind of like, I don't even know how exactly to describe it, but that sort of like that. God, adjectives are failing me. That's
Yeah.
a good thing. That
Yeah.
means it's really interesting music,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
for
Did
sure.
he loop some stuff or bring
No,
any, like,
he had a band,
mates?
but he just had that very
Did you
kind of like
saturate the fuck out of his
progressive-y,
voice?
kind of like modern psychedelic sort
Yeah.
of. No, we didn't really need to. I'm trying to remember if he maybe brought some effects
Did he
for his
you didn't-
vocal.
yeah, he didn't,
He's
like,
someone who
crunch
has
it?
that insane like falsetto kind of voice
Okay.
that you get in like I think Muse does that kind
Okay.
of stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, his voice goes places.
Nice.
But that was a really cool one. We had the Resonators come in. They really killed it. That was a great session. I still love the one we did way back with St. Luna, and I'm waiting to run it back and bring those
Yeah.
guys
St.
back.
Luna,
Yeah, they're
dude.
still playing.
Sick. They killed it.
St.
Yeah.
Luna's crushes.
They are
Dude, St. Luna crushes.
so killer.
We're gonna just have to poach off of your beach break sessions. We'll just swing them in
Yeah,
here on the
Dude,
Tag
we
way
team.
got
out.
so
Yeah.
many. We got so
Right.
many.
Yeah.
We've got so many artists that we could hook you guys up with for
Yeah,
this.
just slip 'em in
And then
here.
you
It's like,
also,
oh,
you
pop
guys
in that
also do
room.
EPKs here too, right?
So yeah, that's not something that we've really formalized. And
Okay.
have I'd like to though, and that's on my radar. Is
Okay.
I want to put together like an EPK package.
You hear that?
Do you want to tell people what EPK means? Like people over here that
Electric
don't.
press kit. So
Yeah.
like your
I have
band,
no idea
your
what you're
band can
talking
Let
come
the
in
man
here.
talk.
No,
Take it
you're,
away.
you're doing a good
Take
job.
it
really
away.
trying to get the
Take
show
it
out.
away.
This
This is
I
a
thought
job
I thought you
interview.
were talking to me.
This guy like Bogarts the mic.
I think so too. No,
Sorry, you guys need to ask better
I like
questions.
that you were starting.
I mean, I think I
good
need to be
there.
on that side.
guy's really
What am I doing
Bogarting the
behind the
mic.
camera the whole
Yeah,
time?
we might have to put you back on the
We
sticks
know
back there.
you want to
volume
work.
right.
We know you want
I'm
to work here.
outshining you guys as a host. I'm sorry about that.
Guy just wants to work here
Chilling.
so
I was-
bad.
You're explaining it well. Exactly.
All right,
Proving
Zach. I mean,
himself.
Jamie, go ahead.
No, Jack,
No.
please.
Damage is done.
Please.
All right. That EPK, like you said, it's an electronic press kit, and it's like having it's like an online business card for a band, and so if you
Electronic
go
press pills.
and so I
Any
had it
big place
explained.
wants this.
Yeah, and the way I had it
Like when you're
explained to me
booking.
really well recently is that like as a legit band that's running yourself like a business and has your shit together, there's 2 websites that you should have on the internet, and one of them is like yourbandname.com, and that's more for like fans, and you're trying to get streams and fans and merch sales and stuff like that out of it, and there can be a lot more fluff on that. It's a marketing site. The other one's your EPK, and that can be anything. That can be like such and such dot, like I think one of the platforms is Bandzoogle. Does that sound right? Like a such and such dot
even
Bandzoogle
Google
dot.
Drive.
It can be a filthy, disgusting link because no one's going to be searching it out. It's just something that you're going to drop in emails or give to people or put
Dropbox.
on. Yeah, that people will click on and look at, and so and that's for promoters. So like none of your fans should see that. It's sort of like secret in a sense, but you go to like a promoter or a talent buyer or something for a venue and you're trying to get a show, you give them this and it's like the quickest possible. They can see your aesthetic, what you're about, what music you have, like some of your numbers, stuff like that. And so that's what you were talking about and what we were talking about doing those here.
Yeah, I thought I heard that in the a little bird told me you guys are trying to start doing those.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the first things that we're going to do towards it is we have an event coming up in a few weeks. Actually, let me let me check on the date if I may.
Yeah.
But we have an event coming up where we're going to kind of like do sort of like assembly line style EPKs, and we'll have all the kind of pieces. So we'll do some photography. We'll help you write a bit. You know, we'll this and that. And the idea is that bands will walk out with a fully formed EPK or all the parts of one just ready to assemble wherever they're going to put it. That's going to be May 4th at noon. Wanted to have that
May 4th at noon.
May 4th at noon. After that, I'm hoping to learn a lot from that as well. We've got a partner, Eric Nielsen, who works with Dharma Den, coming in and helping run that.
Are you gonna like educate the people that come a little bit on the like formats?
Yeah,
and
I mean, we're really gonna kind of have be ready to go to create all the parts of the CPK and just have sort of like a little
we'll sit here and poach for that too.
Yeah, totally. And I'm hoping to learn from that, just kind of like how to do what they're doing, where it's like not just doing the EPK, but having a process, having a little checklist, having the most efficient way to do it. Then I'm going to start offering that and telling bands that this is something we can make for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I said, we're a nonprofit studio. If we can offer that kind of thing at or below cost to people, that's a really phenomenal program for us to be doing.
Yeah.
Because then...
because I feel like not enough people know about this.
That they need to have it even.
Because it's like, dude, you book a show, right? Mm-hmm. You send this to someone, it is a one-stop shop for like posters, a biography, like your stage plot, like literally everything you need for a show, like it's now in the hands of the venue. So now it's just like it's in their hands to like they can now make posters, they can post pictures of you, like tell about the band from your own words.
Yep.
And instead of like you guys going back and forth, it's like everything's right here. Here you go.
Genius.
And you're giving them this. I'm sorry.
And it's just like for like places that are bigger and like serious, having an EPK is essential. Oh, yeah. Like if you want to book a festival, if you want to book anywhere that's like known, this is something you have to have. And I think people should know that because.
And you're giving them this probably, before you've actually like closed a deal and secured a show with them. And this is something that, especially if you have any kind of management working with you, that's like helping you to book these shows, they can be giving this out for you. And you're just going to get booked a lot more. I think that it
just
really
looks so
helps.
official, dude. I mean, all of a sudden it takes a mediocre band and like makes it like, oh, these guys are at least like serious.
Sounds like it puts you in a different box too. The people that have it and the people that don't have it. You're going to look at these people first.
Yeah. Right.
Just like resumes.
Because it's so easy.
Kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had this really interesting conversation with Danny Cosmos, who works here and runs sound at Music Box, and he runs Front Seat Media, where they manage some bands. He does a lot, but they manage bands and they do kind of everything a label does except actually fronting cash. But they'll, so they've got some royalties on the band's music. They've got some points on that, and they're doing all the management. And this most interesting perspective, which is that like massive labels can just choose who they want to be famous next. It's not, if you're
crazy.
Sony, it's not, we think you're going to blow up, so we're going to take a bet on you. No, it's
we're going to blow you up.
We're going to blow you up.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so he's like, the way his company is going to make money is if he gets one and then hopefully some more bands that, a label like that will actually want to buy out from them. And that label would want to buy out the points that they have at that time.
Wholesaling bands.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, and so he's like, his goal isn't make the band blow up, to this degree and have like Sony bet on you that you're going to blow them up. No, it's give them to Sony as like, this band is ready to be blown up, and they have the pieces, and like, all you need to do is just actually blow them up. But these guys already know how to load in and load out and play a show well at a venue and be smooth to work with, and they have their materials, and they have their EPK, and they have this, and it's more like putting together this package where it's like, all right, if you blow these guys up, they're going to be ready. They're not going to be a lot of headache for you.
Yeah.
What a weird way to look at it, right?
Yeah,
But,
I know.
But
They don't need to go to
it's
rehab.
kind of nice. I mean, it's like a packaged, like it's gift wrapped, Like,
and that's sort of it. It's just prepare them for that, and so it's like, this is a band that's ready for that next step, kind of thing. And so that EPK, coming back to that, it's just a part of that. And if you want to think of it that way as a band, where it's like just being ready for when someone does want to work with you, that can really help you, that like you can handle that. That's kind of a big part of it.
It's sick that you guys would like offer something like that, because I feel like a lot of studios would be like, oh no, we're here for the studio shit. Like,
right. And it's really easy
to
to stay just down that one lane of it.
Yeah.
I think
you're like a non-profit music consultant almost for people that want to get their shit together.
that's where it's really cool. Yeah.
I think from like a bigger aspect too, that's what sets you guys apart from other studios. Like, you guys pivot and do all sorts of different stuff, which is super cool. Whereas other studios, I feel like, are just like more traditional. Like, no, we're just, you guys come in track, or bring your sound or whatever you need to do, and then that's that. And
I think a lot of studios, right? I think a lot of them look at it more just straight up like, how do we just get the most clients in, get money, maybe get points on it, and a very straightforward business model. And I think with us and being, with a nonprofit, it's cool because you actually, I mean, of course we wouldn't be a public business, but you generally have that thing where if you're a for-profit business, like, you're obligated to whoever owns it to just make them the most money. And as a nonprofit, we're mission driven. We're obligated to fulfill a certain stated mission that we have.
You're like educators on top of like,
well, and that mission is building artist careers. And so we can look at it a little more holistically, and it's not just recording, it's what can we do to help people, not just record music, but actually build careers in music. And that can be a lot of things beyond just
and if you have to have a couple poker nights, then, then
to pay the bills,
it is
like,
what
big
it
deal.
is. It is what it is.
So you got to sling some gear, Chuck.
Yeah. Everyone needs a side gig.
Yeah. The side gig to the side gig. No, I feel like you're definitely like, it's like a whole package of,
that's
record,
what we try to
get
be.
educated.
Yeah, we throw like little educational workshops.
Check the waves out the creepy window in the back.
Exactly.
The one that you can also see Ocean Pacific Gym at.
Yeah. And it's like young in here too. Some studios aren't like young and youthful, and people are like, scared to go in.
One thing that we heard a lot of, and we just saw a lot of just looking at online reviews and stuff around studios in town, is like when we started out and we were thinking about these things and like, where can we set ourselves apart a bit, and we saw a lot of people saying like, the place is solid, like they know what they're doing, they have good equipment, but they're really set in their ways. And you come in wanting to do things a certain way, and they'll be like, no, you don't do it that way, you do it this way, and we work with a lot of artists that are newer at this, and especially being the nonprofit studio, being the most affordable option around town, we deal with a lot of people that haven't really worked in a studio, or that maybe don't, haven't defined their sound and exactly how they do things. And we try to be a little more like, if they got to kind of learn some things through experience, they can do that.
Yeah. Curtis said he'll give it to him straight though. If he has to.
Oh yeah. No, we'll tell people, and then this is what we've done before. And this is, this is what I would worry about the result maybe being if you try it that way, but try it and see what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's good.
And that's cool. That kind of like keeps the creative aspect of it. There's no pressure really for those people coming in, just trying to get their sound, or just trying to track a couple things, or
I
whatever
think
they're
that
trying to
stuff's
do.
important. Yeah, there's no real wrong answers, right? Like, you can say that, absolutely the best way to record drums is with these really nice mics and this perfect placement. And you look at some punk rock recordings and it's just a 57 by crush and that's it,
And some busted cymbals and
imagine you had that perfect tight recording setup for that punk record. It wouldn't work. It would sound so weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not the genre.
That's it, and those things are always changing and there's a new genre popping up every week,
Right.
and this stuff's kind of in like, something's the wrong answer until someone tries it and it
Yeah.
becomes a whole aesthetic.
Well, you don't know you like until you hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
And most people don't like the stuff that's going to get popular right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's true. It's
yeah,
true.
just jumping
didn't
on the
like it.
bandwagon. Yeah.
Like you're a fucking
And the early adopters are like, I was listening to it
Right.
before
And
everyone
no one
ever
believes them.
Yeah. Okay.
hipster.
Yeah. Sick, dude.
yeah,
Congrats.
real original.
Yeah.
So what's your main, like, I feel like at this point bands are probably coming to you, your name's out there. Are you guys still
Getting there.
pushing marketing pretty hard, or what's
Still
like your
pushing
go-to?
it. We're also just still kind of learning how.
Yeah,
I think we have some really great people now, but we took a little while kind of growing our team, and for a long time we know a lot more about just running sound and recording a band than marketing a studio. So again, now we're starting to find our footing, and we have some really great people working for us now helping with those things, but we're still, we're a startup, we're all young doing this, and kind of like learning how to do that. And so I think there's still a lot of getting our name out there to be done.
yeah.
We're still pushing that as hard as we can. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I told you this first time I came in. I feel like for a band to walk in that front door, it doesn't take much. Like, you guys have the setup. It's so sick in here.
No, that's what I've always said is
Yeah.
the whole pitch is just I got to get someone.
Yeah,
in the
get them
door.
in, the door, and then it'll sell itself.
That's it. So, I'll try to do, and I want to keep things on brand, and I want to keep things professional, and I don't want to be just known as a party spot. But
Yeah.
when we can do little events that like just get people out here, like we've been doing an open format jam session since we founded this place 2 years ago. And every
Sick.
other Thursday, people will just come down here, and for a few hours, we'll just get real loud and just jam, and that's it. It's
Thursday
very,
nights?
very casual. Yeah, Thursday nights.
Every Thursday?
Right?
Every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday.
Yeah, so we post about that online, so you can.
Every
know
other
what-
Thursdays.
Every other Thursday.
This room, maybe we'll just set up in here and you can just let people come on the mic.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be hilarious.
There you go.
Get Chuck in here,
All right,
Yeah.
who's next in here?
Chuck it in here.
What'd you play during the jam?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
feel like
that'd be
you
cool.
added?
The electric
really cool.
triangle. The skin flute.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
We'll be
Whoa.
coming and trying to set up, and Zach will already be set up. Like, hey, welcome to the green room.
Yeah. Yeah, taking it
Sponsored
over.
by
yeah.
Easy Rider, friend of the pod.
Yeah, go Pacers.
You don't drink Easy Rider, then fuck you.
I'm just getting in all the lines that they're supposed to say.
Young
Oh,
Jamie, man.
man.
This
Blowing.
is your guys'
Fucking
doing. You
blowing.
guys know I can't not talk. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
just
no,
sit
we-
here.
we
You knew
signed up for
exactly
this.
what you were in for.
We signed up for this. Yeah, we damn well know
Curtis,
that.
I'm a front man, dude. That's what I do.
Yeah, it is what you do. I'm surprised you didn't bring your keys in here or whatever instrument you're playing.
No, I
this
have
week.
them. I just left them in the truck.
Jesus.
He's always ready.
Yeah.
You gotta be.
TTG.
So what do you play guitar? What do you play? Yeah.
Yeah, I play guitar. I've played guitar for a long time and play Ableton a bit.
Yeah.
Starting to play more bass. I want to learn to play everything, man. I want to
Yeah.
learn to play drums.
I mean, you're
think
around
it's fun.
it.
That's the thing. I'm around it. Like I gotta stop. Like I don't know. I gotta start making more time. Like when I get off work and hang around here an hour or two and play drums every night, and not just go home and like make dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
I really need to.
Did you ever
Yeah.
pop on and record some stuff? Or
Every here and there, every here and there I will. It's weird. I have like all this gear around me, but just I guess what I know and what I've done more is just recording more in the box and just making stuff with Ableton. And so I feel like I do that a lot where I'm just kind of honestly just doing a lot of stuff in the box, and then I'll record guitar bits onto that. I need to branch out more.
Well, especially if you're doing drums, dude, because 9 times out of 10, samples just sound so good. Like if you don't have a player,
Yeah,
if you're like
yeah.
by yourself, it's like
I mean,
those sample drums are probably going to sound better.
probably sound better than Ben.
Well, no,
Probably
then,
on time.
then someone who doesn't play the drums.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Someone
I'm
who
not
kind of
gonna
plays
get
the
a great
drums.
sounding drum recording, but
Right.
I also haven't really like personally made a lot of stuff that would be like real drummer. I've done a lot more just, like electronic music and hip hop and stuff that's a little more artificial sequenced drums anyway.
Yeah.
But
It's wild though.
Some heavy 808s.
Exactly. Oh, I love 808s. They're my favorite.
Legendary.
So, did you play in a band originally, or was your
Not
first
really.
passion always just kind of like
I've always
music in
been just
general?
music in general.
Gear guy.
Yeah, gear
Now you're a
guy.
gear guy.
I've always had like a few homies around I'll play with, but I hadn't gotten an actual band together. I'd always be missing some piece or another, and so I've just more played and then kind of learning production as a way of like being able to just make stuff on my own and using guitar more. Now I kind of see myself more like the producer who uses that as a tool, and I'll use it as a writing tool and the way that I navigate around music theory. And it's something I can kind of sketch out ideas with and whatnot. But I personally really, really like the role of just being the engineer and letting other people supply the creative part. When I do that stuff now, when I make music personally, it's largely more just for me. I'm not really releasing stuff so much. Like, I don't really have to be like, I've got my job recording other people's music, and I like that being the, professionally, I
You're
just
the
go
constant
more into
for
the
other
technical.
people.
Yeah, and I can get more just into the tech side of it, and there's a lot of creativity to be had there.
Yeah, you definitely got the tech down. I mean, when you and Zach get riffing, me and Ben are just like,
Yeah, go cross-eyed.
for sure.
Yeah.
With that said, there is so much creativity like with mixing. I mean, like that is creativity.
With mixing, with just like mic selection, and
Totally.
placement,
Tracking,
with
yeah.
all of it.
Like you don't lose it, just because like you quit like being like, this is my main priority. It's like you just learn to use it in different ways.
Different
like the
people
creativity.
are creative differently too.
For sure.
And so
You
that's,
get it,
that's
dude. You're
kind
still
of
creative. Like, you don't gotta preach.
I still play in bands, guys.
well, I think that's what it is
No, you
for
don't.
me.
It broke up.
Shit.
But to your point, Zach, like even in your heyday when we were just messing around in your garage, like the tiniest little tweak of a mic or the angle of it. Remember when we had we figured out the that was the craziest
three mic, dude.
epiphany of like, holy shit, this actually matters. I thought you just put a mic in the room and just call it a day.
I mean, first time we were mic'd up his drum, like the snare, like specifically, it's like, just like 45 over the top, you know. And then
as one does.
And then as we started like recording more, it's like, why don't we try just like tilting it a little more back? See what that sounds like? Why don't we try tilting a little, maybe put it a little higher? And by the time like we were like actually recording, we had his drum sound.
That's
like
awesome.
dialed. Yeah.
And that's what I think, if you're playing with the same setup all the time, I think that's kind of what you got to do.
Yeah. Especially you get a different like sound out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And you change one thing, of course the whole thing goes out the window,
Right.
But if you're doing that kind of thing a lot, that's I think the way to go.
Yeah.
Like if I get a really, really good mic setup with drums, like I'll make sure that we take like a ton of close pictures of it and all that before we break it down.
Yeah.
So we
Tape
can
I
it
take a
back
picture of
forward.
all my setups, dude.
Mhm.
Any setup I do, I take a picture
Yeah,
of it.
you've got to.
Like I like
time,
knowing.
Even then, I know we're not going to replicate it exactly. So, drum tracking is like there's sort of an extra pressure where it's like, if you come in and you track guitars, I'm probably going to be able to pretty much replicate the mics next time, especially if I'm trying to, and I take a picture of where I place the mic and of the settings on the amp. Like, all right, we can get back there. Drums.
What if it's a different head? What if the head's worn out now?
It's right.
What
It's
if the
tuned
tuning
a
of the
little
snare? What if we
different.
need to like?
There's so
tweak
many
snare?
variables. I mean, you could probably spend all day or multiple days to get it exactly the same,
Right.
but it might take you all that. And so it's like with drum tracking, I feel like there's this huge pressure of like you got to get it all that day while it's set up.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
is kinda
get
fun
way
too,
more than
but-
you need.
Yeah.
Because like most of the time, I mean, I don't know how your personal setup is, but like with my drum setup, like I'm using like 12 mics. Am I using all those mics in the mix? Absolutely not.
Right.
But I
To have
have
his
them.
options.
You have them.
I have them just in case,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do we need 3 room mics? Probably not. But like, I have them just in case they want more of a roomy sound instead of like having like that close sounding drum, you know?
Sure.
So it's like, just do whatever you do the most,
You're hired.
because you can always take it out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you can't like
exactly.
add a sound or like add a mic.
What I've started liking to do, because there's just so many mics already involved with drums, and there's so much you can do with room miking with that.
Yeah.
Is that in those sessions, if I have the time, I really like to do all the mics I want to do typically, and then I'll add in one more and do the weirdest thing
trash
I can think
mic.
of with
Like
it.
Yeah.
down the hall kind of thing, like
Yeah.
John Bonham
Like,
style.
yeah.
just
Uh-huh.
like
So that's one of my
layers.
favorites actually that a buddy showed
Down
me
in the kitchen.
recently. We were doing like hard rock drums, and this guy's like a metal and hardcore player, and knows the really, really aggressive drum sounds. Like he was like the one teaching our drummers, like, if you hit the drum like this hard, it's moderately hard. You know, it sounds all right. Now if you do this, and I think he's going to break the head off the thing. Listen to how good that sounds. You know, he's that kind of player. Really awesome. I respect the guy so much. We have that little kitchen break room behind the live room there.
Yep.
And he has us leave the door cracked, not open all the way, not all the way closed, but just like a few inches cracked. And he puts this condenser mic on the table in the kitchen, runs it back in there, and just slams compression on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded so good
Yeah.
with that style. It sounded really, really good because it kind of like tamed the cymbals a little bit.
Yeah.
From that, but you still get so much present kick and snare in it. And then when those would hit, because it was so compressed, the cymbals would duck down,
Yeah.
and you get that kind of pumping in the mix. That's one of I do that one actually a lot now.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's John Bonham all day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The
the
originator of that.
Straight in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I mean, thanks for having us out.
Of course.
It's been a blast.
Thanks for having me. I guess.
We'll be doing a lot more of these, and
World's
Sweet.
best dry run.
yeah,
Yeah, I think this setup's gonna be okay.
yeah.
I'm sure you fucking think so. Finally get to be on the camera.
because he's on the
His
camera.
Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
I'm happy he didn't wear more pastel colors like last week.
Yeah, thanks for telling me that I was gonna be sitting down for today's episode.
Thank Curtis.
you
Don't
jackass.
thank us.
Yeah,
Thank Curtis.
Shake Curtis's hand
Should we
on the way out.
just start calling you Jackass?
Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa. We're
Well, hell
both
yeah.
Johns anyway. Fucking couple of liars. Yeah, thanks for having us. I mean, I know you're fucking slammed and you guys are grinding
No
in here.
stress. It's
So,
good to have you guys.
what,
I'm looking forward to this.
6 artists come through while we were setting up
It's a
these
typical
mics.
day.
Yeah, you guys got a good thing going here, dude. We're
Thank
stoked
you.
to be a part of it.
Yeah,
right
keep
now.
it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, May 4th, come get your EPKs
Yeah.
Yeah.
down
That'll
at the
be really
music
cool.
company, PB. Drink Easy Rider.
Yeah. Poker
Yeah,
night.
boys.
Poker night.
Yeah, and look out for your next poker night here.
Exactly.
When they're low and run on funds.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
Sick.
boys.
Hey,
Good shit.
Was that-
cheers, friends of the pod.
that was
Yeah.
40 minutes.
Cheers.
What?
I looked down and
Yeah.
it was 30, and I was like, "We'll see where
Easy.
this goes." And
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was 40 minutes?
yeah,
Wow. Killer.
yeah, dude.
Man.
Talladega Nights.